welcome to Carlos and Lisa. I'm Lisa Remillard.
And I'm Carlos Amezcua. It's nice to have you with us. We are speaking English.
Thank you.
Captain
Obvious.
We can speak many languages in this room.
Yes, see.
But the English language is always evolving and changing. But thanks to our smartphones, our language has evolved into something called modern-day hieroglyphics, or emojis.
Okay, so yes, people can now have entire conversations in emojis only. I am guilty of it. I do it all the time. I am on text threads with my friends, and all we do is post emojis.
Okay, so
and it's an entire language.
I started with smiley faces.
Yes.
Smiley faces and hearts. Eventually, I evolved into poop. Smiling poop. I went, this is the best emoji ever. It's smiling pile of poop. Who would have thought that that was going to be something of a thing?
Carlos
but it's a thing.
Finds a way to take it right into the gutter, right at the beginning of the show.
But I mean, honestly, there's so many emojis on.
There's so many.
And when I first found it, I went, wow, look at all this stuff. I don't have to write it out. I can just hit the picture, and somebody's going to know that's poop.
Why are you talking to your friends about your own poop, or
because after age 13,
I don't want to talk.
You mature. That's a peak of maturity in my language skills.
Clearly.
Yeah.
So here's the thing.
You want me to stop?
I want you to stop talking about it, because here's why. Because we actually have a very important guest that we want to get to.
Yes,
Believe it
we
or
do.
not, scholars are studying the language of emojis and how we use them in our everyday life.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. And then you know that because some emojis mean different things to different people.
I always wondered about that, yeah.
Right? Different cultures, there's discrepancies, even among your own friends group.
Mm-hmm.
There could be an emoji you send that you think means one thing.
It's cute, harmless, no problem.
And somebody else is offended.
Takes offense, yeah.
Okay, so we brought back our friend, linguist professor at Cal State Northridge, Dr. Kenneth Luna, to talk us all about emojis.
This is such an interesting piece of our language, isn't it, Dr. Luna?
It is. I mean, emojis have revolutionized texting and how we express ourselves through texting, right? You remember last time I was here, we were talking about how texting is representing speech, right?
Right.
And one of the things that we want to be able with speech is we want to express our emotions and our facial expressions and our body language. And how did we do that before emojis? That was really hard, right? If you
had to spell it out in a word.
You had to use descriptive language.
Which is hard.
What the heck?
And now you just put an emoji and then you can express your emotion. You can even, from slang to sarcasm to, intonation and emphasis in your speech. So emojis are just...
I'm a big fan of the winky face.
Yeah.
Because I'm a sarcastic jerk most of the time in my text messages. And so, I always try to diffuse the situation by sending a wink, just like that's going to diffuse
Let me ask you
words.
both the question. Where did it come from, emojis? What? Whose idea was it, and who decided that emojis were a thing?
So the word emoji comes from the Japanese language, and the origins are Japanese. So around the 1990s, they were including in Japanese smartphone devices or texting,
okay.
and then they just became popular. They expanded. Then the company started putting operating systems in Western countries, and then just completely took off.
And now they have an emoji council that
Yeah,
determines...
because we've done the report. So the Emoji Council has added 16 new emojis, and I'm like, the Emoji Council?
And I'm like, how do I get on that job? Like, how do I get that job?
For real, every year there's a list of, tentative list of what's coming on next year, and then people get a chance to, you can go and propose, and then people vote on them, and we're getting
incredible.
So talking about your poop one,
your poop emoji,
people are proposing because that's a smiley face.
It's a smiley face
sad
with poop.
face.
Yeah.
You need a sad face too, just in case. There's a place for everything. Okay, so you're talking about emojis specifically, but I also think that it's happened to me a lot that I send an emoji that I think means one thing and it totally means something else. So I would imagine in the study of this, you have to study cultures and different interpretations. So how many emojis have those different interpretations?
I mean, I don't know exactly the number. I would say basically all of them, right? You never know what happens in another culture. Certain facial expression, a certain part of the body,
hand descriptions,
handshake or hand shape has a different meaning.
Which finger goes up? Which finger goes down?
Correct, right? No, definitely, all that matters. And then we may misinterpret, or maybe sometimes the emoji is not clear enough. Like the facial expression of what you're, it's not clear,
Not
it's
clear.
ambiguous, and that's one of the issues.
One
with
time
emojis.
I got my mind blown. The one that I think is the prayer emoji, somebody said it's actually a high five. I'm like, wait, that really? I was like, how
How
do you
is
come
that a
to
high
that?
five? Yeah.
There are lots
So
of those.
yeah, the
Okay.
religious ones, I think that's dangerous territory because
Yeah.
if you don't understand it,
It could be.
don't send it.
Right.
Yeah, and this can be praying, it can be please.
Yeah, it could be lots of things. Okay, so we are gonna play a little game with
Yes.
you.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, we have chosen some emojis that apparently have multiple meanings.
We have not seen these
I
in
have not
advance.
seen these.
So this means goat.
And for me, I would put that if I was talking about Tom Brady, like
The greatest
of
of
all
all
time.
time.
There you go. So that is like the main usage of that. Of course, it's a goat, and you see it, and if you're referring to the animal,
Sure, that makes sense.
But if you're Mexican, I look at that goat and go, barbecue.
Stop it, Carlos. Okay.
No, really, birria. I would say birria. Oh, vamos a comer un chivo. Vamos a comer un chivo. I would say, Dad, what do we have for lunch? We're going to have a chivo. See, now you see the difference?
you can have,
That's
See,
true, right,
Carlos
Dr.
is-
Luna?
you can eat it in English too.
Yeah.
Right? You can have a go.
Of course.
All right, let's try the next one.
Or don't go me.
But yeah, greatest of all time. It's
Greatest of all time.
it's a great example of an emoji that's used as slang,
Yeah. Right.
as an acronym for something else, and then greatest of all time. And you see in a lot of sports
Right,
figures,
they use
social
that.
media.
Okay. next one.
Oh,
This one's always hard for me.
I love this
like
one.
this one,
This is not just little crying. This is like really crying.
but some think it's like you're laughing so hard that you're crying, and I never know which one it is. So which
'Cause
one
there's
is
no
it?
smile on that face.
They're both, and that's the issue. I mean, the issue with this emoji, right? It's like
Yeah.
to some people, it means you're crying hysterically out of sadness, or is it just you're crying hysterically because you're laughing so hard?
Right.
Right.
So it could be both.
This is one that works with a lot of misinterpretation. Because imagine if you're not, you and I are texting, and then you give me some bad news, and I respond to that with that, but to you it means laughing.
Right. Then I'm offended. That's what I'm saying. I get that all the time with my people. Okay, let's talk about
Yeah,
the next one.
if I don't know what it means, I don't use it.
Oh, I use that one all the time.
This one is a girl dancing. I don't even know what I would use this maybe for my wife because she's a dancer.
And I use it just to signify party time,
having a
like
good
I'm
time.
I'm
Yeah.
partying.
Right. So that's the most common usage of the emoji. Here, it's for partying, right?
Mm-hmm.
But this is an example of an emoji that has different meanings in different cultures. So, for example, in Spain, you send this emoji. This means flamenco, or it's associated more with flamenco.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Or it could be salsa, because if you look at the girl,
Yeah.
it looks like
Like a
dressed
salsa
as
in
a
that,
flamenco.
in that motion too.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Next. Okay.
Oh, okay. So
this
is this a prayer or is this a clap?
I use that as clapping. Like
Because of the
this.
triangle,
Yeah.
triangle of things on
Like
there?
it's making
Yeah.
a noise. Clapping.
Yes, it's clapping, and that's like the default meaning. But this is a great example of how it's being used in social media to indicate sarcasm,
Emphasis.
So you've seen people typing, and then they put the clapping in between the words.
I do that all the time. I did it yesterday. I do that all the time.
You're
You
kidding.
don't get it.
Yeah.
This
You're
is-
I do that
I
all
think
the
I've gotten
time.
that message from you at some point.
I was like,
You're not
Carlos,
getting this.
you're
You're
doing
not-
it wrong.
Yes, I've
Right.
seen that,
Okay.
yeah.
I know. Okay,
Oh,
so
this
this
is-
is our last one.
So someone has died, and you put a sad emoji on your condolences message. Do you do that?
I don't,
Is that appropriate?
I don't know. That one looks. I've never used that one because it always confuses me.
Right, and it's not used very much, certainly in Western countries. And this is the history of this one is very interesting. This is the original sleepy emoji.
What?
And you may be, what? Well, if you actually look at anime, manga in Japanese culture, when you look at those cartoons, you see that when they're sleeping or they're tired, this is kind of gross, but there's a snot bubble.
Oh my
And it
goodness.
just goes like this as they're like sleeping. That's what that's supposed to mean.
Oh my goodness! I
Kidding.
never
But to
thought of that.
us, plus now we have the emoji with the Z, so
With-
that's
so
a
that's
sleepy
sleep.
one.
Sleepy
But
one,
that's
but-
like after. So now it's used for you're so tired or that you're drooling.
Drooling.
See, I
that's
would have
how
said
it's
that
used
was a really uber sad. Like
Really?
really,
Oh, 'cause
really
like-
sad.
so
yeah.
like you're crying so hard that your nose is
But
running.
it's really,
Right.
it's almost a sorrowful.
Oh, that's interesting. Oh, so interesting. And here's the thing. All of these, almost all of them, like you're saying, can have a different emotion based on where you are in the world, how you feel in the moment.
Yeah.
And that's the positive, and that's also the danger
Yeah.
of these things.
Yeah. You know what the most common, the most used emoji in
Tell
the
me.
world is?
What?
Praying.
The
This
heart.
one.
The heart.
The heart.
The heart.
I use it almost every day.
I use it all the
But
time.
right
too.
behind is the face with the tears, the LOL laughing emoji.
And now they have the one that's sideways,
Yeah.
just
like,
to indicate like I am really on it today.
yeah, ROFL, rolling
Yeah.
off.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
R-O. Yeah. I know what
Ruffle,
you're saying.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a whole nother that's a whole nother discussion we're gonna have to have with you. Yeah.
All right, Dr. Luna, thank you for
Great to
coming
have you here.
in. We
Thank you, Jen.
always love having you
What
here.
a fun
having me.
discussion. All right.
Fine.